We begin with breaking news here at 6. A brush fire is forcing evacuations in Marion County. The flames have burned at least 6 to 7 acres, and so far, multiple outbuildings, not homes, have burned, and more buildings are threatened.
The fire has triggered level 3 go now evacuation orders north of Turner. This is in the Gath Road and Turner Road southeast area. See those in red there. To the south and east, more than 200 homes are still under level 2 BSET evacuations. That's in yellow, includes the Crawford Crossing neighborhood, a subdivision around Turner Lake that is home to hundreds of people. Authorities say the flames sparked when a car hit a power pole around 1:30 this afternoon, and the utility lines ignited the dry brush. We also understand one firefighter has been taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Let's go right to Catherine Cook live on the ground near Turner with the very latest. Catherine.
Guys, as you can imagine, this is all very unnerving for neighbors, especially those in the subdivision who have been watching from their windows and the sidewalks. As you can see, the smoke rising behind us this afternoon. That fire burned hot and it burned fast, once again, reaching about 7 acres at last check. But the good news is Marion County fire officials tell us it does not seem to be spreading at this point. I'm going to step out of the way so that my colleague can push in. You can get a little bit better look. All afternoon we've been watching air support drop fire suppressant over the fire that we are told is still actively burning, but again, it's not spreading at this point. We have some photos that we received from Marion County right at the onset of the fire. You can see the smoke plume at its strongest burning here just near Turner. Again, the cause of the fire, we're told, was a car that wire sparked the fire, and well, the rest, as you can see, was a large. Again, we've been watching air dropping fire suppressant on the flames. This multiple crews from multiple agencies also attacking the fire from the ground. About an hour ago, we spoke with Salem Fire's assistant chief, who gave us an idea of what the damage was at the onset of the fire.
Yeah, we actually had multiple structures that did burn at the initial onset of the fire, and they are, of course, a total loss. South of us, at this point, we have no homes, no single-family dwellings have burned, just the outbuildings.
So back live here. Again, as you heard, no homes, no residences have burned. That is neighbors on edge. I've been speaking with several of them who've told me they've packed valuables, photographs, documents, some clean clothes as they prepare to inevitably, if necessary. But again, is continuing to burn, but spreading, seeming to hold steady at around 7 acres this afternoon.
That is good news for folks in Turner there. Catherine Cook there outside of Turner this evening. And of course, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino now. Matt has been tracking the weather conditions, so walk us through what the conditions look like there in that area, Matt.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all, Christine. This is the state capitol, about 8 miles or so northwest of where that fire is burning. The winds have come up a little bit this afternoon, as they do this time of the day. Nothing unusual about that. They're out of the west right now at 15 miles an hour at the Salem Airport, and pretty much the same where that fire is burning. And the wind gust forecast has changed a little bit. We'll be up around 15 to 20 miles an hour for the next several hours, but then drop off dramatically at midnight at the latest, if not a little bit before that. So yes, we're in the windiest part of the day right now, just because of the afternoon heating. We get the winds coming up a bit, but again, the gusts are generally below about 20 miles an hour at that area as we go through the night, and they should back off even more as we go into the morning hours. We'll have a cloudy morning. The winds will be completely calm. Humidity will come up as well, so that's all good news there. As we go to Friday, it gets sunny and it gets warmer. That means it'll get breezy again in the afternoon, but hopefully this fire will be long out before that happens, with the good weather coming overnight tonight into tomorrow. Then, as we go into the weekend, we've got warm weather on the way, and then hot weather next week. Hottest of the year so far. More on that later, guys.
Oh boy, here it comes. Thanks, Matt. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage of that brush fire in Marion County, with updates available anytime on KGW.com. Do not forget to download the KGW mobile app to get push alert notifications as new information comes in.
Developing this evening, investigators in Gresham are looking into 2 fires they think were intentionally set and could be related.
Celine Stevens is live outside the East Portland Moose Lodge, the location of one of those fires. So Celine, what's the connection here?
David, Christine. So first, these fires happened across the street from one another on Northeast Halsey. One of them happened here at the lodge. The other happened at the church across the street. At both of these scenes, 2 broken windows were found again at each of these scenes, and it looks like that the fire was set through the broken windows from the outside. Luckily, nobody was injured.
This is really, in a lot of ways, the best worst case scenario. Had our intern not showed up as early as she did and make that phone call, my understanding is minutes really matter with fire.
Fires set just hours apart are now the focus of an investigation in Gresham. Both broke out early Tuesday morning within steps of each other, and investigators believe they were intentionally set. The first fire was reported just before 5 a.m. at the East Portland Moose Lodge.
It's a real shame that this happened because this is an excellent club and that helps people.
Gresham and Portland fire crews responded. Then around 9 a.m., they were called back to Columbia View Church.
Gresham and Portland Fire responded very quickly, found a fire that's in this room right here. This window was smashed out, fire had started, and they were able to put it out quite quickly, but there is a total loss in that room.
The room filled with toys and tools used for fun community events.
I kind of prepared myself for it. People kind of told me what to expect. And it was saddening. It was unfortunate.
That room had all kinds of lawn maintenance equipment and general storage items, and the fire was up into the roof at that time. So luckily it was caught when it was.
Investigators say both fires have similarities.
We believe they are both so similar, with broken windows, 2 on each building, fire set through the window from the exterior. So that's why we're tying those 2 together.
Now the investigation is focused on finding out who's responsible and why.
How sad it is that there's folks in our community that, for whatever reason, have become so isolated and so kind of disenfranchised or whatever that this would even happen, right? It's a tragedy.
I hope that the person that has done these 2 things to the church and to this organization is helped and they are caught.
So both the church and the lodge are open for business and services. Gresham Fire is asking anyone that may have seen anything in this area of Northeast Halsey Street yesterday morning between 4:30 and around 10 in the morning to contact their office to try and find whoever did this. Back to you.
Yeah, I hope someone knows something out there. Thank you, Celine.
In an update, former Portland Trailblazer Ben McLemore has been sentenced to more than 8 years in prison for raping a woman at a teammate's house party.
That woman gave emotional testimony today. Calaboshi was in the courtroom and brings us the story.
A Clackamas County judge sentenced former Portland Trailblazer Ben McLemore to more than 8 years in prison following his conviction on rape and sex abuse charges. His victim spoke during Wednesday's sentencing. We agreed not to show her face.
At the time of the assault, I had no idea who Mr. McLemore was. And when I found out, I will admit there was hesitation. And I questioned whether I should really have move forward and report what had happened, especially given his status. But I couldn't let it go. No one is above the law, no matter who they are or what position they hold.
Guilty of the charge. Last week, a jury found McLemore guilty after a nearly 2.5-week trial. Prosecutors say McLemore raped the woman at a party in the fall of 2021. The assault took place at the Lake Oswego home of McLemore's then teammate, Robert Covington. During trial, the woman testified she was incapacitated after a night of heavy drinking and unable to consent. The 2 were strangers and never spoke beyond exchanging names.
Rape is not a word to be taken lightly. It's not something that should ever be used as a joke or a casual accusation. I fully understand the gravity of the word and the damage that it causes and the lives that it destroys.
The woman explained this case was never about financial gain.
No amount of money could ever undo the damage he caused, and it wasn't compensation I was seeking, it was justice.
The former Trailblazer now wears a different uniform, standard issue black and white stripes from the Clackamas County Jail.
Calaboshi reporting there. In your headlines, we're learning more about a SWAT standoff that locked down a Milwaukee neighborhood Tuesday night. Deputies say around 9, 35-year-old Ryan Pittman pointed a gun at people inside a home on Southeast Monroe Street, fired several rounds, then ordered everyone to get out. That prompted a shelter-in-place order. Crisis negotiators eventually got Pittman to surrender just after 11. He is now in jail on gun and probation violation charges. It does not appear anyone was injured.
Emerald ash borers are popping up across Oregon, and forestry officials want you to keep an eye out for them. These tiny metallic green beetles are tough to spot, but they've killed millions of ash trees across the country. Some signs to look out for would be yellowing leaves, splitting bark, or D-shaped holes in trees. If you think you've seen one, snap a photo and report it online at OregonEAB.com or call 1-866-INVADER.
And Oregon schools could lose more than $73 million after the U.S. Education Department cut several grants. It's part of nearly $7 billion the Trump administration is withholding nationwide from after-school summer programs and English language instruction in Oregon. Over $20 million funded migrant education, with another $20 million targeting student achievement. In a statement, the Oregon Education Department says cutting these programs would undermine efforts to close opportunity gaps and support vulnerable students. Now at 6, layoffs are stacking up across Oregon, stretching from state agencies to utilities to tech giants.
In just 1 week, ODOT, Intel, PBOT, and now a round of cuts at Portland General Electric. John Adams is live in downtown Portland. John, you spoke with an economist. So how is our local economy doing compared to the rest of the country?
Well, Christine and David, the good news is they told me it doesn't appear that our local economy is any worse off than anywhere else in the country, despite the climbing unemployment rate here in the state of Oregon. Now, just in the last few days, Intel announced it will be laying off more than 500 employees in Washington County starting on July 15th. PGE also announcing cuts. A senior IT analyst that worked decades at the utility company told me they were told their position would be eliminated in a meeting on Tuesday. A company spokesperson confirmed with KGW that 330 positions will be impacted, which includes 53 full-time workers, 123 contract workers, and 154 unfilled open positions. Rajiv Sharma, an economics professor at Portland State University, says tariffs and high interest rates have created an unpredictable environment, especially for global companies like Nike and Intel. Sharma notes the state's unemployment rate has also ticked up to 4.8%, and that's higher than the national average of 4.1%. He says economists will be watching how these layoffs ripple out, especially for small and local businesses.
If a person is laid off, they may not hire the plumber or the electrician who was going to work on their house. And so the plumber or the electrician's income is therefore reduced.
Sharma also told me that some economists are predicting the United States economy to slow down over the next 6 months or so due to uncertainty around tariffs and the high interest rates. Back to you.
John Adams reporting live from downtown. Appreciate you looking into this, John.